Is Africa truly the poorest continent, or is it the richest being exploited? This is the question we grapple with as we delve into the economic paradox of Africa. This vast continent, brimming with an abundance of natural resources, is paradoxically considered one of the world's poorest regions. Africa is a treasure trove of wealth. It is home to an estimated 90% of the world's cobalt, 50% of its gold, 2/3 of its manganese, and vast deposits of other precious minerals like diamonds and platinum. Its fertile soil can feed the world, and its vibrant cultures have shaped humanity's history and future. Yet, the paradox is glaring. Despite its immense wealth, Africa remains mired in poverty. How can a continent so rich be so poor? External influences have played a significant role. From colonial exploitation to modern-day economic imperialism, Africa's resources have been and continue to be extracted and exported, often with minimal benefit to its people. These external forces, coupled with unfair trade practices, have left Africa in a perpetual cycle of poverty that is hard to break. But it's not just external influences at play. Internal instability is also a crucial factor. Political turmoil, corruption, and lack of good governance have often disrupted economic growth and development. These internal issues have impeded the efficient and fair distribution of Africa's wealth, contributing to the deep-seated poverty that afflicts much of the continent. Furthermore, the continent's heavy reliance on raw material exports makes it vulnerable to global market fluctuations. This dependence on a single sector can stifle economic diversity and innovation, leading to unstable economies that struggle to provide for their citizens. The paradox of Africa's economy is indeed perplexing. The continent possesses immense natural wealth, yet its people remain entrenched in poverty. It's a paradox that presents both a challenge and an opportunity. A challenge to rethink our understanding of wealth and poverty, and an opportunity to devise innovative solutions that can help Africa realize its full potential. The richness of Africa lies beneath its soil, yet its people languish in poverty. The question remains, how can we turn this paradox around? This is a conversation we must continue. Let's peel back the layers of Africa's economic landscape. As we delve deeper into the heart of Africa's economy, we encounter a complex weave of figures, each shedding light on the continent's present economic state. The gross domestic product, or GDP, is one such figure. Across the continent, economies oscillate between robust growth and challenging downturns. Nigeria, for instance, boasts the largest economy in Africa, with a GDP exceeding $500 billion. Yet this prosperity is not evenly distributed, leading to a stark contrast between the wealthy and the poor. Unemployment rates across the continent tell a similar story of disparity. In South Africa, one of the continent's most developed nations, the unemployment rate hovers around 30%. This figure balloons to over 50% when considering the youth, a demographic that makes up a significant portion of the population. Then, there's the poverty rate. Over 40% of sub-Saharan Africa's population lives in extreme poverty, surviving on less than $1.90 a day. With such a significant portion of the population living in poverty, it's no surprise that income inequality is rampant. Income inequality, measured by the Gini coefficient, ranges widely across the continent. South Africa again tops the chart with one of the highest Gini coefficients in the world, highlighting the vast economic divide between the rich and the poor. Meanwhile, countries like Ethiopia and Mali fare slightly better but still face significant income inequality. These figures begin to paint a picture of Africa's economic landscape, marked by striking contrasts. A continent rich in natural resources and potential, yet marred by poverty, unemployment, and income inequality. A place where the wealth of a few overshadows the struggles of the many. It's a challenging panorama, but one that is not without hope. With concerted efforts and strategic interventions, the tide can turn in favor of a more equitable and prosperous Africa. The numbers tell a story of disparity, a tale of riches to rags. What if the biggest robber baron is corruption itself? Let's delve into the role corruption plays in the economic instability of African nations. Corruption and poor governance are two sides of the same coin that is economic instability. They're like a pair of scissors, cutting through the fabric of economic growth and development. When corruption is rampant, resources that could be used for infrastructure, education, healthcare, elements fundamental to development, are siphoned off. Instead of being used to lift people out of poverty, these resources are hoarded by a select few, widening the chasm between the haves and the have-nots. Consider this. A road that could have been built with a certain amount of money is either not built at all, or it's built poorly because a portion of the funds was pocketed by corrupt officials. The lack of infrastructure impedes trade, transportation, and other economic activities. The poor quality of the road, on the other hand, leads to additional costs in maintenance and repairs, creating a vicious cycle of inefficiency and waste. Moreover, corruption creates an environment where merit and hard work are overshadowed by nepotism and bribery. This can lead to a brain drain, where the most talented and capable individuals seek opportunities elsewhere, further stunting economic growth and development. Then there's the issue of investor confidence. Corruption creates an unpredictable environment that deters both local and foreign investors. This lack of investment stifles innovation, job creation, and economic diversity. But here's the real kicker. Corruption and poverty are inextricably linked. It's a cyclical relationship where each feeds the other. Corruption leads to misallocation of resources, which exacerbates poverty. And poverty, in turn, can lead to more corruption, as people may resort to dishonest means to make ends meet. So what's the bottom line? Corruption feeds poverty, and poverty feeds corruption. To break this cycle, it's crucial to address corruption head-on, fostering transparency, accountability, and good governance. Only then can we pave the way for sustainable economic growth and development. Could education be the key to unlock Africa's economic potential? Let's delve into this proposition. Education is a crucial pillar for any country's development. It equips people with the skills and knowledge to navigate the world, solve problems, and make informed decisions. In the context of Africa, with its diverse cultures, rich resources, and youthful population, investing in education could be a game changer. Consider the story of Rwanda, a country that, following the devastating genocide in 1994, placed a strong emphasis on education. Today, Rwanda has one of the highest literacy rates in Africa. It's no coincidence that Rwanda's economy has been one of the fastest growing on the continent. Quality education has empowered its citizens to contribute effectively to the country's development, attract investments, and foster innovation. And then there's Botswana, a shining example of how education can transform a nation. Since gaining independence in 1966, Botswana has invested heavily in education, and it has paid off. The country has witnessed significant economic growth and development, becoming one of the most stable economies in Africa. Investing in education doesn't just mean building more schools. It's about improving the quality of education, ensuring that curriculums are relevant and equip students with the skills needed in today's global economy. It's about teacher training, access to learning materials, and creating an environment that encourages learning. Moreover, education is a powerful tool for addressing inequality. It provides opportunities for the disadvantaged, helping to break the cycle of poverty. It empowers girls and women, leading to improved health and economic outcomes for families and communities. Education also fosters civic participation, promoting democratic values and peace. It encourages environmental stewardship, equipping people with the knowledge to manage natural resources sustainably, a critical factor for Africa, rich in biodiversity. So, could education unlock Africa's economic potential? The evidence suggests a resounding yes, but it requires commitment, investment, and a recognition that education isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Education is not just a right, it's an economic engine. And for Africa, it could be the key to a prosperous and sustainable future. How can we turn the tide of poverty in Africa? This is a question that has been asked countless times, and while there's no silver bullet, there are strategies that can make a significant difference. First and foremost, improving governance is crucial. Strong, transparent institutions can help ensure that resources are used efficiently and that corruption is kept in check. It's about creating an environment where businesses can thrive and where citizens can trust their leaders. Investing in education is another key strategy. Education is the great equalizer, providing individuals with the skills they need to secure stable employment and contribute to their communities. But it's not just about getting children into classrooms, it's about ensuring that those classrooms are places of quality learning. This means investing in teacher training, curriculum development, and educational infrastructure. Promoting sustainable development is also vital. Africa is a continent rich in natural resources, but too often these resources are exploited rather than used in a way that benefits local communities. Sustainable development is about finding ways to use these resources in a manner that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Finally, encouraging fair trade can help ensure that African producers receive a fair price for their goods. This can be achieved through international trade agreements, but also through consumer choices. When consumers choose to buy fair trade products, they're supporting businesses that pay fair wages, respect the environment, and contribute to sustainable development. These strategies aren't easy or quick fixes. They require commitment, resources, and the willingness to confront challenging issues. But they represent a path forward, a way to turn the tide of poverty and create a brighter economic future for Africa. With the right strategies, Africa's economic future can be as rich as its land. So, where does this leave us? We've journeyed through the economic paradox of Africa, witnessing the potential it holds, yet the dire poverty that ensnares many of its inhabitants. We've peeled back the layers of the economic landscape, revealing the rich resources that contrast sharply with the widespread poverty. We've delved into the role of corruption, a thorny issue that undermines growth and perpetuates inequality. Yet we've also highlighted the transformative power of education, a beacon of hope that can drive change and uplift communities from the depths of poverty. In our discussion on solutions and strategies, we underscored the need for comprehensive long-term initiatives that address systemic issues from corruption to inadequate education. The economic future of Africa is ripe with possibility, but it requires our concerted effort and commitment. The economic future of Africa is in our hands. Let's not let it slip away.